you tell if you got people looking?
Yeah, we're live now, Steven, so.
Hi, how you going? You well?
Right. We are now live, actually in the right place. Apologies for the few hiccups at my end. It was a few technical issues. We're using this app called Melon for the first time, and it kicked Steven off the live. Then we tried to go onto Facebook, and I couldn't work out a way to add Steven to the live. So Steven's already nervous. So I just thought I'd make him even more nervous by absolutely cocking up on, sorry, I can't say that word, messing up on all of the Facebook live settings. So anyway, we are live now. And Steven, so introduce yourself.
Hi, how you going, Jamie and everybody else? Steven Mulligan here from the land down under. My business is based in Launceston, Tasmania, which is the island underneath Australia. And I run a cloud accounting and bookkeeping business called NumberKrunchers. And we specialise in bringing the latest technology to small business to try and streamline all their workflows and make life easier for them. And yeah, hopefully make life a lot easier. Yep.
So, Steven, why did you go on this journey?
Well, I've been in accounting all my life, in and out of public accounting and private industry, motor vehicle industry and everything like that. And I've been working for other people, helping them to build their business, do all the things that I actually wanted to do myself. So I've actually given them a lot of value. And at the end of the day, I was just an employee. So I thought, well, instead of going back into public accounting again, I had a bit of a change of pace, and I thought, another friend of mine said, why don't you do bookkeeping or go out on your own? So I decided to, she gave me a couple of clients, said, a couple of these clients need help. They were having struggles in their business. And I said, yes, I'd take their business on. And at that stage, I've always been interested in automation and software, and the industry is changing every week. There's all the latest AI technology and data extraction technology. And I thought, right, okay, I'll go for it. So what I did is I spoke to these clients, said, well, this is what I can do for you, and I can offer all this technology, and we'll take on all your accounting work. And I just went for it from there. I thought, it's my time in life now to do something for myself, earn my own money, and just have a bit of freedom. So instead of starting at 8 o'clock in the morning and racing off to work and finishing at 5, now I have time to walk the dogs. So I take the time, go around the bush, walk, come back. And then because everything's remote on cloud-based systems, it makes it a lot easier.
So what things have gone wrong in your journey?
Lots of things. I'd say
just focus on one thing then. What's a big mistake that you've made?
Big mistake is not having all my systems mapped out properly. So I sort of went in gung-ho and thought, right, okay. Well, I went in as like a bookkeeper, I suppose. So I've moved from the accounting space sideways to bookkeeping. And I thought that, you know, as an accountant, you sort of know everything. Well, you don't. It's sort of a different sort of space altogether. Didn't have proper work processes, and things have started to build up quickly, and I've got new clients. So I've had to bring on team members, and because there's other people involved and I haven't got a proper workflow, the consistency of the quality of the work hasn't been the same.
Yeah. So what did you need to help you fix the problem?
Well, actually, because I've been networking on Facebook with other people that are in the industry, and another girlfriend of mine has her own business, Christy, her name is. She's been a great benefit to me because she's had experience in this industry, has given me a lot of help. And with her help, I've looked at the systems, network with another company to get the systems sorted out.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So have you had any dark moments since you started? It sounds a bit harsh, but you know, any down moments since starting your business?
Actually, quite a lot, probably more than I thought. You sort of hear people say, freedom in your business and all this sort of thing, and the ups and downs of business. Well, actually, there's been quite lots of downs because, for starters, cash flow hasn't been how you thought. You might do the work. So I started off on hourly billing like all accountants, traditional accountants do, and I've found that that's been the wrong story. So I've had to, well, since I met you, for instance, Jay, we've gone on that pricing journey, and you've helped me immensely. That's changed my life. But just ringing up people to get you to pay all the time, so that's a bit down because some weeks you've got to use your credit card because you haven't got enough money. So with wages, you've got that steady income. There's other things that have gone wrong, especially I've had team members, I've had people complaining that the work hasn't been done on time. We've sorted that out now. And just, I think sometimes you doubt your own ability as well. You know what I mean? So you're putting yourself out there, and I know I undervalue yourself because a friend of mine said you're actually selling your services at a very cheap price. She's the CEO of a company. We did some work for them. They went out of scope. I charged them out of scope fees, and she said, well, actually, you should have charged 3 times that amount. She said the advice you've given to our company is worth a lot more than that.
So you were talking about a few hiccups. Is that been like staffing issues, or is that just been? Do you think that's more related to processes?
I think it's related to processes. Well, 2 different things. There are accountants, and then there's accountants, and there's bookkeepers and bookkeepers. So we all have a different set of standards. And so I've been a little bit disappointed in the quality of work from some of my team, and I thought they would have had more brains to do certain things, and they hadn't. So it's been very frustrating. So at some point I felt like I've been running a kindergarten trying to make decisions for people. That's a bit harsh, I know, but you know what I mean? And so I've had to put in place more processes to actually tell them what they should have already known to do, especially if I'm employing an accountant and some of the high-level bookkeepers. But that's my own fault. I realise now that you can't expect everything. It should be set out properly. A friend of mine's a chef even, and he said that in his kitchen, all the recipes are written down, which I should know because I come from hospitality myself as an accountant. All the recipes are photographed, written down. There's procedures as far as even grating the carrots, how they should be grated, and the thickness of the carrots, everything.
So do you think scoping and engagement actually helps you bring in that outsourced labour to do the work?
Yes. So if you're talking about scoping, which is, telling the client the expectations of what we've got to do with the job, did you say that it brings out, we have to have, sorry.
Does it help? Does it help? So scoping out a job, does it help with getting the staff on board with the work that they've got to do?
It gives clarity about what they've got to do. Yes. So the outsourced workers that I've got at the moment, I've got the engagement letters there, so it's all mapped out what they need to do and what I need to do. So everybody, our outsourced workers, myself, and the client are all on the same page, if that's what you mean.
Yeah. Well, what would be like one bit of advice you would give to others from your experience of running a bookkeeping practice?
Is that a scripted question, is it?
Yeah. So what would you tell others to do?
Okay. The biggest thing that I found out is don't be afraid to ask for help. So in this day and age with Facebook, it's best to link up with all the groups that you can, so you can get the help that you need. Because I've been on site with clients and there's been certain issues. So I've done a support request on Facebook. If you've got a mentor, if you can find a mentor that you get on really well with, I'd actually tell you to get link up with them straight away from word go, because there's lots of moving parts in the business that you don't think of until you're actually in the business, and then it's sort of sink or swim.
So what's next for you, Stephen?
Well, the next thing is I've brought in outsourced workers. I'm trying to get the business to run by itself so I have more free time. So I'm looking at all the systems very carefully. I've gone on another journey to do with advisory, which is becoming a profit-first professional, which is something that I feel strongly about. So you can see the books in the background, and that is where my future lies. So I need to actually move myself away from the business a bit so I can pursue that dream, because the world needs people to get businesses looking after their money, and money management and profitability has always been a big thing. So I don't know if that's the question you wanted answered at this point in time.
No, there's no set agenda here. It's just let's keep this flowing. I think what made you decide to go on that journey with Profit First?
Well, I've always been interested in advisory. I've sort of been an accountant, and I like doing the bits and pieces, the technical work. But more so, the main thing is I like to do all the training of software and everything like that and talking to clients. So I've always been interested in that, and I've always noticed, because I've been in industry, most of the businesses that I know always have cash flow problem. Also, all the business owners go to their tax accountant at the end of the year and get their tax done, and then he'll give them the profit and loss and the whole thing like that. And then, like my boss would get it, and then he'd just throw it in the drawer. I said, don't want to know about it. So they'd be running their business by the seat of their pants. And also, lots of times when I was working in the public practice, the businesses would come in for help, and then we talk them through everything, and then you'd say, well, you've actually made a profit for the year and you're going to pay tax and all this sort of thing. And then they'd go, well, if I've made a profit, I'm going to pay tax. I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to swear, but where's the money? I've got nothing in the bank. Do you know what I mean? And it's all too late. It's probably about 9 months after the financial year end. So I made it my mission that when I started this business, that I'm going to pursue people that I'm my niche clients, which is trade or hospitality, and not pursue them, but try to attract them, and then focus on the things that are important to them, which is the profitability of their business, knowing where their money's coming from, where it's going to. And I was always thinking, what is an easy way of doing that? So I looked at all the apps. When I started the business, I looked at all the apps, there's tons of cash flow apps. And I said to a friend of mine, I need something simple just to demonstrate the point to clients that don't really understand facts and figures, what it is about their business and where the cash is going and what they need to concentrate on. And there was no solution. And as soon as you mention to people about budgeting, they go, and because I'd given a couple of clients Excel spreadsheets to fill in, weren't interested. We chatted about cash, and then you'd go away. Then one day I was listening to a podcast, The Successful Bookkeeper with Michael Palmer, and
great podcast.
And it was great. Lisa Campbell was on there, and she's an inspiration. She was talking about Profit First, and I thought, well, what the hell is Profit First? So I Googled Profit First, and I thought, all right, okay, sort of thing, and left it 2 months. And then I was listening to another podcast of hers again, and they spoke about Profit First and about how their system of money management. And so I contacted her and said that I was interested in the Profit First. And so that's how that's how my journey started.
Yeah. So with Profit First, and I don't know whether it would be interesting for anybody to know, like what's been your experience of working with Profit First so far?
Profit First is a very good experience. The resources behind the scene are excellent. You can get a lot of advice from all the Profit First professionals. It's called Profit First Family, and it's you know the expression of finding your tribe. Well, I think I found my tribe. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't feel that I'm an accountant or bookkeeper. Profit First is making me brand as something else. You know what I mean? And it gives me a more sense of value, and it's a natural extension of myself. I believe in everything it says. It all makes sense. It's all revolves around the natural behaviour of humans. So what happens is, like I do it, you pick up the phone, you look at your bank accounts on there, and you go, right, okay, that's fine. I've got the money, so I've got X amount in the bank. Good. I'm going to say it, but the Profit First system is that you put it into buckets. The purpose for the money goes into different buckets, just like a mate of mine in another place, he used to put all the money in different jars. So his kids couldn't touch anything unless it was in the children's jar to do with whatever. So there was a purpose for all those jars. It's the same with the Profit First system. And the whole thing that I love about it, and I can't wait to fully accredit it, it just gives me a system that when I go out with the client, I can explain to them the whole process. We can put it in action. I think it's easy to understand, and it'll also keep the temptation away from spending all their money, because you have your bank accounts for your tax or GST, you have your bank account for your operating expenses. Of course, it says Profit First because you take your profit out first, have it in a bank account, and taxes. So there's lots of things to do with it, you know, involved with it, but it's just absolutely fantastic.
Do you feel it's helping you move more into those advisory services?
Yes, it's given me a lot of confidence. And like I said before, there was always something missing in my practice, and I couldn't even put my finger on it. You know what I mean? And I feel so passionate about it. Mike McCallowitz was on one of our meetings the other day, and I felt even teary-eyed when I asked him a question, because I'm so passionate. You know, when you follow someone, you become so passionate, and the whole system just rings true to me. So it's like I said, it's given me a lot of value, and so like I said, when I go out with a client, I'll feel confident because I've got the resources behind me. So if we ever have problems, there's a lot of backup, you know, help, and all the people that I've met so far are just fantastic.
Brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. So with Profit First, what's next with Profit First for you then? Is that to become accredited Profit First professional? And are you going to start rebranding yourself more as a Profit First professional than a bookkeeper?
You hit the nail right on the head. Exactly. That's right. That's what I'm going to do. I don't want to be known, well, I've never wanted to be known as a bookkeeper because I'm an accountant by trade, but I want to be known as...
Why is that? Share with us why you don't want to be a bookkeeper.
Usually the word bookkeeper is something that's come from the 18th century when they've had books and they, you know, an old ledger and all this sort of thing. And it actually devalues what bookkeepers are about. When I went to Xerocon in Brisbane last year, whenever it was, a friend of mine who's a mentor in New Zealand, she's an accountant. She said, I don't think that any Australian should refer themselves as a bookkeeper, because she said that's looked down upon in New Zealand because they're the ones that do all the technical work. You know what I mean? So it means they're not capable of doing advisory work. It's not a good thing really to say, because all the people I've met in this space, in the bookkeeping world, are fantastic, and they're top professionals, because we all are most of us are BAS agents. That means that we do GST returns and everything like that for you guys in the UK who, you know, you have a different system.
VAT.
VAT, that's it, yeah. So I've lost my train of thought.
No, it's fine. It's
Yeah.
interesting, isn't it? The word bookkeeper is becoming, I'd like to say, taboo. So anybody who does label themselves as a bookkeeper, when I wouldn't mean any offence by what we've said, but
Well, that's right.
I think I agree with you 100%. It's trying to find a new label
Yes,
for
that's right.
bookkeepers, and maybe that is profit first professionals. That you're actually concentrating more on the profit before actually doing the books. The books is just a byproduct of what you do, but actually you're focusing more on
well, that's
profit.
right, because it's a fact of life that actually technology is taking over most of the processing. So, do you know what I mean? So you've got to move away from that. And like I said, it's a bit of a shame because all the bookkeeping people that are in the industry are really top people. We're all looking for different ways to brand ourselves because all of us, all the people that I know, give good advice to their clients. And actually, I'd say, looking at that from moving from the accounting sphere, we give more advice, day-to-day advice to clients than accountants do. The accountant will see their client once a year, like I said, do the tax return. Yeah, sorry, and you're paying X amount of tax. Goodbye, and we'll see you next year. Where we, for instance, will see them. Well, actually, I ring my clients and see how they're going, especially in these times, to say what's happening and what's going on. And because a lot of people are on zero, we go through who they owe money to and who owes them money and have that conversation. So it's degrading really to say that about bookkeepers only do this, that and the other. But with my journey, it's more intense than that because profit first is the main goal. So I want to get my business running by itself, have my team working on the workflows, get all that going really smoothly. I do the profit first work, and if it brings in more bookkeeping work, well, so be it. But the main thing is everybody in the world needs help. They need help about cash flow, profitability. With the profit first system, it goes more intense as well. Do you know what I mean? I've never ever I've implemented the profit first system on my own business because that's part of the accreditation training. I've never actually looked at my financial statements and my cash flow summary in specific details as with this system. And now I realise that I'm overspending on certain things because part of it is analysing your expenses. Sorry about this. I've just dropped out of a drink.
No, it's all right. It's so easy to lose sight of everything else because running your own practice. I imagine it's very difficult, and you can get drawn into spending so much time focusing on the clients that you forget to actually look inwards and go, actually, what do I need to do? How do I embody profit first in my own business so that it's an easier sell to the outside community? Because if they see you doing these things and being dead chilled and relaxed about running your business, that you're going to be embodying everything that profit first
that's
is all
right
about, I guess.
Some of my clients are so eager to come on board. One of my niche clients is watching now because she's messaged me. They will be my first client. They're on profit first. They manufacture kitchen cabinets, everything like that, a customized range. They are a top-notch company, value price products, everything that I aspire to. They're lovely people as well. So they are my market, and they can't wait to put the money management system. Well, actually, they've already started in their own way. We've spoken briefly about it. So they are eager, like me, to follow the profit first system, which will change their lives.
Yes. Massively, because you change the problem we've had in the financial sector for too long is we've been focusing on archaic profit and loss and balance sheets, which when we start talking about those things to clients, they look at them and they go, what the hell have you just shown me? Whereas the profit first system is actually concentrating more on what's the physical cash in your bank, which is typically what business owners will look at. They'll go, right, okay, I've got £10,000 in the bank. That would be nice. But that's not mine. That £10,000 that goes into the profit account, that goes into the expenses account, and the effect of that on everything else in your business is positive. It's growth. It's absolutely amazing. So I'm really excited to keep following you on that journey, Steven. So this leads nicely into, where do you want to be?
What do you mean? Where do I want to be?
So, like, in the future, so like, where do you see yourself? Like, what's the type of business that you're trying to create? Like,
I'll be on a beach somewhere. Dollars will come flowing in, so I don't have to do anything. I'll be over there in England visiting you, my friend. But the thing is,
hopefully.
Seriously though, I want freedom to be able to come and go. So if I want to go to England to see you or do things, I should be able to, and my business should be able to run itself. So in the 5-year goal, I'll have a team of so many, and the whole business will be running without me having to make decisions, and without me saying about so-and-so's payroll needs to be done. So all those things will be in place. So I have a workflow company behind me that I've been contracting, and they are taking care of all that, mapping out my workflows. So that internal structure is very important. It's actually just like building a house. So if you don't have the foundations and the bricks done, the house will fall down.
Can you give a bit of a shout out to who that is?
Evolutionary Workflow. You're talking about Jackie Kubas. Yes.
Yes. She's a lovely person, doing some fantastic.
So she's great. She did my workflow templates and carbon to begin with, and I sort of went, yes, sort of thing, and didn't really pay a lot of attention to it. So now I've found out that the business doesn't operate properly unless you get all those things in place. And so I've re-engaged her to look at more of what's going on in her business. Her team of workers are really good, and they do some work for me as well. She's got a whole team behind her.
So what tools are you using to help scope out your work?
Go proposal. Okay, so first of all, I used PandaDoc to do my engagement letters on. But the thing is, as you start to grow, you have to save time. So if I was scoping out your job, for instance, and we was doing the conversation now, then you told me about everything. By the time we finish that, and then by the time I do the whole quote system all the way through, I could kiss probably over half a day goodbye when I needed to be spending on other things. So I did cloud pricing with you, my friend. That's how we met. That was the best thing that's ever changed my life, because that's gave me the ability to understand how I should actually price my services from a practice. That was a real game change, because prior to that, I was doing the hourly thing where you're racing all day against the clock to get jobs done, and you weren't getting your full money for it because, you'd get it done quicker with technology. So anyway, so I was using the cloud pricing system, and then I moved over to Go Proposal for the fact of the streamlined process. I quote the job. They have a table of sort of services in there, which I've done the whole accounting industry, because Go Proposal is done in England, but they've actually done a lot of the work for Australia as well. It's easy, customizable, it's user friendly. So you can do the quote, send it out by the email. There's a link there, and the person clicks it, and then it does engagement. It comes back and it does invoice and zero, does everything. And I've got a personalised engagement letter that Amy Hook did, who's a savvy bookkeeper. She has done some really great work for me, so I'll put a plug in for her. And all the templates of my business she's done for me. I actually got Go Proposal to put her engagement letters into our system because theirs was too legal and formal, and the client said to me, I don't understand a word of it, but we'll sign off on it anyway. We understand the fees, but all the clauses, about 10 pages of it. It was meant for us. Where Amy's engagement that she's done for NumberKrunchers is fantastic. It's friendly, professional, and you know, is legally binding.
Fantastic. Would you say you've made any mistakes scoping?
Oh gosh, yes, tons, shitloads. Yes, that's right. Lots of times it's hard to think of all the questions to ask a client. So yeah, we have the conversation and we'll talk about their business and go into the ins and outs of everything, and then you'll ask to have a look at their Xero file, or you know, usually we're a Xero practice, or sometimes MYOB, but we look at the file, so you try and diagnose everything, and there might be things that you haven't thought of. For instance, who would ever think about COVID-19 coming in and JobKeeper? You know what I mean? Disaster, really. And I'm not, you know, and I feel sorry for the whole world. It's horrible at the moment. But the thing is, now practice, who does think of that? So a lot of clients were expecting all those extras for nothing, but we've actually had to do, our industry's had to do a lot of extra work guiding clients through this. And here we go again. And I'm not saying things about bookkeepers, accountants, but there's a lot to be said for the bookkeeping fraternity, because they've been very proactive in helping the clients through this. My clients are ringing me all hours of the day for advice and all sorts of things. And are we going to be eligible for the next round of JobKeeper? And some of them are just beside themselves, you know, because it's really terrible. So when you scope, you would know about that. But besides that, I've made other mistakes in scoping, and then when they go out of scope, I'm as bad as everybody else. I've let them out of scope, and you know, I mean, it takes a while to pick up on it, really, and especially when you're taking on this sort of business. There's more cogs in the wheel than I thought, and you're so overwhelmed at times by the things you need to do. You know, I'm listening to advice on this, and then someone says you should do that, and the workflow and the pricing, and you know, all sorts of apps for this, and oh, it's just so much. That's right.
Yeah, it can be too much, can't it? So, has anything changed since you met me?
Do I have to say flattering things about you?
No, just tell the truth.
Am I?
You can swear now.
Can I swear? Is that right? We're still being live, are we? Yes.
Yeah, we're still alive. It might get kicked off on Facebook, but it might make everyone else laugh.
Actually, no, you're... no, I don't want you to get a big head, but you're the best thing that's happened to me, because, and that's really good, because we both benefit from our relationship, because you're the pricing training, the mentor for value pricing, cloud pricing. We clicked off straight away because I dropped a few clangers and we had a laugh, and you know, we're swearing and carrying on, sort of things like that. And then we had a lot of one-to-ones. So the training you gave me was just really fantastic. It's opened my eyes to about how to make your business more profitable and not be racing against the clock. And sometimes you feel relaxed because you've got people on automated systems. See, most of my clients are on a fixed fee. Value priced, I don't know, you know, but at least a fixed fee. Mm-hmm. So I try to value price as much as I can, but you know, that's a subjective question. That's for another day. But at least you're not rushing around and the money's coming in all the time. Do you know what I mean? So each month people are paying you money. So if it wasn't for you, and also our continued friendship and what you're doing for me now, I'm really, grateful to you, mate. It's great. Thanks. No, very good.
I'm grateful to you too. You're top man, and you're doing fantastic. So, have you had any like aha moments, like real clarity, like yes, that works?
The aha moments are, and I was thinking about this a while ago, is actually when I met you. There's been game changers, really.
Okay.
I wanted to come into the business, yes, like that, and I felt relaxed. Then when I met you, that was an aha moment, because I thought, oh, that's a different way of pricing, different way of looking at everything. That's fine. It makes me more professional, the way things are done. Profit first is a definite huge aha moment, because it all rings true with me. I'm so passionate about it. Also, it's just some of the technology is mind-blowing to roll out. You know what I mean? And also, when I speak to some of my accounting mates, they don't even have a clue about it, but then they don't have to, because accountants interpret the data, where the bookkeeping fraternity produces the data. That's the difference, you see. We're the ones that produce it, do all sorts of things. We interpret as well, but accountants are just there to do the interpretation and advisory work, so they don't have to get into the technical area of it.
Yeah. So what results have you seen? So I'm trying to remember. You've been in practice now 3
years in January next year.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so what results have you seen? Like,
I don't really. That's right. So I started off with 2, because a girlfriend of mine, she started me on and said, you know, instead of going back into industry, instead of going back to public accounting, take on these 2 clients. I thought, oh, well, it's a bit of money and that's it. And it's probably gone 5-fold since then. But I didn't want it a large practice. I'd rather it be a small, profitable, high value service than, you know, having probably 30 clients I can't service. You know what I mean? So along the way, I've given some the flick. One, it didn't matter what we did for them, they weren't happy, and he was expanding all the time, wanting more services. 4, it was a fixed fee, but wanting more work done for that fee. So I had to tell him, hit the road, Jack. Do you know what I mean? Because I wasn't doing it. Another one, the same thing. And then before Christmas, someone else that was stressing another team member out, and I said, I suggest that, you know, you hit the road, and they want to take up another package. So I tripled their price. They're still on board, but that's okay. They're happy, we're happy now, and we've actually, I think most of it is about having the conversation anyway. When you're talking about scoping, you avoid a lot of issues when you have this talk now about what's expected, because that's where the arguments start. You know what I mean? So if I don't have the proper conversation, I land you with a $10,000 bill, well, you'd be very unhappy. But if you're expecting $10,000 bill because you're a construction company with lots of, you know, issues, well, that's fine.
Yes, managing expectations, isn't it? Managing clients' expectations, and if the only way to manage expectations is with clear communication and clear scope. Right. This is what we will do, but this is what we won't do.
That's right, and then everyone's on the same page, aren't they?
Because if
and I think it actually teaches you to talk to clients. If you're scoping and having the meeting and talking to clients, the worst thing you can do is onboard someone, do some work for them, push it out, and then give them the bill without the communication. See, so I have continued. I just usually ring up clients and see if they're happy. One of my clients the other day, well, he speaks in that colourful language because he's a construction man, and he pays me to swear at him, because I say, you're effing hopeless. You're effing hopeless because you can't manage this, that, and the other, and what the hell's going on down there? We have all these meetings all the time. He laughs, but he gets what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? I've got to go and have another meeting with him. He's got all these projects on. We've got to have meetings with his project manager next week. So he's got millions of dollars worth of contracts coming on, and he needs our help, and he doesn't worry about the bill because we have the conversation about what it is. So we have to change the scope of things because everything's changing now with him every month.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's trust, isn't it? I think it's the easiest way to value pricing and to a client's heart really is that trust. And trust is not immediately given. As much as people would like to think trust is immediately given, it's not. We have to earn that trust, and once we've earned that trust, we need to make sure we're obviously not taking it for granted either. It's like in any friendship or relationship.
Just take you and I, for instance. We've been working together for a few years now, and we've built up a very good friendship and trust. So we both do lots of things for each other, and you look out and have your back, don't you, for each other, So it's all about that, and it's the same with my practice, and also. But it's all about that, and it's also about the same with the people that work for me, because they said, "Oh, you've got such a passion for your business," but I'm passionate about it because I like what I'm doing. I like giving value, and I like the clients to enjoy what we've got to offer them, and so everything should be about that. If it becomes a horror show, well, it's over. You should just forget it. But it shouldn't be. That's right, exactly.
It should be enjoyable, shouldn't it? So, what does the future look like for Steven? Like, what's going to happen with NumberKrunchers as we make this transition into profit first? What things are we going to be focusing on? What's going to look
right? I'm going to be a professional. I'm going to go out and save the world. No, I'm going to go out there and do a whole lot of things. NumberKrunchers will be there as the bookkeeping arm, and I'm going to have a good team running the whole thing. So if I have a client that needs bookkeeping because the books aren't up to the quality that we need, they can come to NumberKrunchers. But you know what I mean? The profit first may bring the bookkeeping work in. But my goal is just to go out there and push the profit first thing because I believe in it so much.
Are you still prepared to push yourself out your comfort zone? Because I know for a lot of people watching today, Steven was very, very nervous about coming on this live. I don't know whether you agree. Put in the comments below if he's done absolutely amazing. I have nothing to worry about, but it takes a lot of courage, and I thank you for joining me today, Steven, to share your story and share it live. A lot of people will be sharing their story on a recorded format where you can edit out the F's and the we should say, and try and make it look really attractive and more polished. But we've done this live to serve you as an audience. So if you're watching the live on a replay, then just put replay in the comments below. It may be my fault for not publishing in the right area. We'll try and share this cross-platform as well. So after we'll be sharing this on Steven's platform on mine. Try and get as many views as we can, help as many people as we can. Is there any parting wisdom you'd like to share with the audience before you go?
Hope everyone's staying safe and well, because it's not good time for everybody. In Tasmania, we have lockdown, so we're luckier than everybody else. Don't be scared to sing out for help. So that means mentally as well as business-wise, because mentally everything's not good for everybody anyway. So the thing is, don't be scared to sing out for help, because there should always be people there. Well, there are people there that care. We at NumberKrunchers care about our clients. We care about everybody. We care about the world. I care about my dog's family, and even Jamie Selby and family. So, that's all.
Fantastic.
So,
brilliant. Well, thanks ever so much for joining me today, Stephen. I've really enjoyed the chat,
yeah.
and as always, my friend. And yeah, I'll be really excited to get you on the show again. Just see what people are interested in, and just get more insights into a working bookkeeping practice down under, and how the mechanical workings of that might be slightly different to what people are doing here in the UK. And I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned and a lot of time to be saved by learning from somebody who's already gone down that path. You know, I've ran a successful accounting and bookkeeping practice. I sold that practice. I'm kind of 2-3 years late. Like, the technology 2-3 years ago has evolved so much. So it's great to kind of get that up to date information from somebody who's in the trenches right now. Anyway, thank you so much, and thanks everyone for joining and popping in. There's been lots of people popping in and out. I've seen on the live, so thank you ever so much for joining us, and I hope you have a fantastic day, and we shall hopefully see you again soon on one of these lives. We might be doing something more regular, just so people can pop in and make it a bit more interactive, so ask a few more questions to both Stephen and I, pick our brains from a proper and me as a bit of a time fighter. So
thanks for
joining us. Take care. Bye.